All right, welcome back to The American Dream. A new study came out that millennials, 64% of you, like working for a company that has a social impact. This is a guy who demonstrates that as well as anyone. Lance Groth, CEO of the Collective Access, a movement going nationwide, helping kids in that entrepreneurial setting, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention, as a profession, one of the best 1031 guys on the planet. So we're going to talk a little bit about that stuff as well, provide some knowledge. What's the latest with you, man? Good to have you in here.
Always good to be in here. Latest with me is trying to keep the onslaught of information organized and controlled. Because, like you're right, it's a lot of kind of young professionals that kind of tagged on to this charitable idea.
So I want to talk about what you do with Collective Access specifically, sure. But before we get into that, you and I have met plenty of times now. You have a passion that's really insane. You're like delusionally passionate. We're at the top of a high-rise, having coffee. You could see all of California from this coffee, and you're like, man, we need to change the world. All those people out there, they're outdated. I mean, you're like yelling at a city. I'm like,
why are you bringing that up?
Well, you got a bone to pick for the city. But I mean, you have a lot of passion. I mean, you want to change the world, and that's not even just paying lip service. You're serious.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, yeah, that's just a fact. I'm like trying to come out with a casual way to say it, without making it such a big statement. But yeah, truth is, it's like, yeah, we're brand new. Like one of my mentors always tell me, we live at the top of time. You know, like you and I were here, and everything that was or came before us, and we get to learn and build off that. So we're living in kind of this digital age where we have unlimited access to information.
Collective Access, tell us about it.
Simple. A bunch of young professionals teaching kids kind of business etiquette and how to connect. The way we do it, simple. We teach them how to network, shake hands, maintain eye contact, an old archaic etiquette. But
some old school stuff. We just talked about all the new school stuff with digital and social.
Yeah.
You're talking old school relationship and handshakes.
But it's a balance because with anything that's new, it will have some bad side effects. You know, the Industrial Revolution was great for transportation, but then it demolished the environment, and then we had environmental protection. The digital revolution is great for information, speed, and transparency, but it has this kind of small little subtle side effect on human connection where people, when they have 1,000 friends, they think, okay, I have 1,000 connections, real bonds, but that's like a synthetic form of connection. So we teach them like, yes, you can have 1,000 friends, it's a great tool, but remember to sit down, have a conversation, meet in person, and not just click like and come and talk to them.
You know, we're the most connected, disconnected people that ever inhabited Earth. I'm writing a book, American Dream 2.0, and it's talking about those old school strategies, meeting this new school world. We got to give you a chapter in it.
I'll take
Can you write?
I'll take
you
a
can
small.
Talk well.
No, I can talk decently, but yeah, I don't think you want me writing.
We got editors for that.
I'll spell
get you
wrong.
Hey, so the American Dream, we talk a lot about real estate. I'm going to shift gears here because you're very well known for your expertise in this 1031 space, which is really tax advantages when you're selling properties. Give us a good nugget for all the people who engage in our show for that real estate knowledge.
Simple. You can in real estate, a lot of people get attracted to real estate because of the incentives and the financial benefits.
Sure.
But the truth is, when you go through that entire process, at the point of sale, it is a taxable event. And there's so many laws and guidelines that actually dictate that one singular point. So many clients get so upset at the closing costs at this. I didn't see this coming.
Right.
You want to have little tools like a 1031 exchange that can help you defer your state tax, federal tax, and your depreciation recapture tax so that you're saving your clients an average of 33% of their profit as far as maybe taking 5% commission or 3% commission. It is this ginormous tax benefit that helps them save money and protect their capital. So I'm a bit aggressive in sharing their information because I'm like, you know what, I think your clients would like to save money, just saying.
Lance Groth, the man, the myth, the legend, Collective Access. It's a serious movement for kids in that entrepreneurial journey, old school strategies, but 1031, whether you're a consumer that owns investment property or you're a realtor, good guy to connect with. Lance, always good to have you on the show, man.
Always good to see you,
all right, brother. More of the American Dream coming up next. Welcome back to the American Dream. This guy, man, you got a resume that's a mile long. Entrepreneur, author, radio star, real estate guru, and now the founder of the Business Growth Celebrity Academy. Brandon Rhymes, man.
Thanks,
good to have
Greg.
you on the show.
Awesome to be here, man. Yeah,
so full disclosure, I've known Brandon for a decade.
Yeah.
And man, your story, your journey has just been awesome. Here we are today in Cali.
It's awesome. Great to be back and taking advantage of this American dream, the entrepreneurship opportunity that we all have. It's amazing.
So tell us where your passion comes from. So anyone who doesn't know your story, just that journey for you, what's it look like?
You know, real quick synopsis is longtime quarterback on my sports teams. I was the quarterback, Dad was the coach.
Yeah.
So we've all seen that dynamic play out, you know. Pop Warner Super Bowl #1, state championship games, and that leadership role has transformed me into a businessman that I am today.
How so?
So what I've done is I've been the leader on the team. I've always been the one to take action, been the one to rally the troops, make things happen. So now I'm quarterbacking a different game. I'm quarterbacking transactions for my buyers, sellers, investors.
Now this is on the real estate side.
On the real estate side.
Big real estate
Platinum.
star out in Tampa.
That's right. Platinum MVP Realty is my company. I'm the owner. So we're quarterbacking those deals. We're also quarterbacking introductions to our 60 to 80 plus show partners. So we bring on CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys.
Now we're switching gears here and talking about your radio show. Yeah,
that's right. So with the radio show, we want to be that quarterback on the team for our consumers and help them as a consumer advocate as well. You know, in that local market, helping them avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent. You know, we talk about the clickbait online, or if it's face-to-face.
The online world has just gotten bad. It's the modern day snake oil salesman.
Exactly.
You know, it just gets so bad on there. Well, people need the advice, which is what you do. So you've partnered with legend of the UFC, Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing this Business Growth Celebrity Academy. So
that's right.
If you don't know who Ken Shamrock is, one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. And what's the common message when these guys are coming on your show? What are they speaking to?
We're doing a lot of stuff about philanthropic. You know, Warwick Dunn, his story was pretty amazing. His mom was killed. You know, so he does one of the best former NFL players, in my opinion, in terms of giving back. He's helped something like 155 single parents gain home ownership through his program, Warwick Dunn Charities. So those types of things are the stories that we want to highlight. You know, Grant Cardone's heavy on the real estate game and motivational. Jarek Robbins, how cool is that for me? Tony Robbins was one of my favorites. I went to his business mastery course in Namale, Fiji back in 2010. So, you know, one of my favorite mentors, to be able to have his son on my show multiple times and kind of chat with him and talk about that.
Wow, very cool. Before I let you go, you are one of the top guys in Tampa. Tell us real quick about the Florida market.
Yeah, Tampa Bay, Florida in general, I mean, it's a hot market. It's similar to what you're seeing across the country. There's low inventory. If a property's priced right, there's multiple offers, highest and best, it's gone like that. It's important for sellers to be informed and understand how they properly position their property. Thinking about, you know, Alexa, Amazon, you know, the Amazon Alexa, the Google Home, thinking about those types of trends. You want to get with a brokerage that's going to be looking into the future and seeing what the trend is, an early adapter. You know, somebody that's going to be an early adapter when it comes to marketing your property. If not, you're going to be left in the dust.
Tampa's a great town. Brandon Rhymes, like I said, successful entrepreneur, author of this book here. What is this book? Is this a new one here?
That's Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. So we're teaching people how to surf the radio waves, and this is part 1 of the BGCA, Business Growth Celebrity Academy.
That you're doing with Shamrock.
That's right.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Enjoyed watching you grow. I know the best is yet to come. Brandon Rhymes, follow this guy. He's the up-and-comer that's really already there and just doing big things.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, man.
I
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
More of The American Dream coming up next. The American Dream and I have been invited by San Diego's premier luxury realtor, a friend of our show, the Seth O'Byrne. And we're giving LA's leader in luxury real estate, Ben Bacal, a helicopter tour of what San Diego has to offer in the luxury real estate market from the sky. Buckle up. I've been traveling the entire country, launching the American Dream all across the United States, and in each market we isolate the elite realtors in every market. Today we did something fun. We brought Ben Bacal, who is the #1 agent for luxury up in LA.
So glad to be here.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. It has a $250 million listing right now, amongst many other. Great portfolio. And we got Seth O'Byrne, who you see on the show all the time, who is our expert out of San Diego. Of course, on his phone, but we're just touring America's finest city, maybe having a little in-air debate about LA and San Diego from 2 of the best nationwide. When you approach a luxury home and you're taking it to market, what are some of the strategies that help move that house?
I spend anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 a month on those luxury listings because everyone's on their phone.
Yep.
I want those listings, viral on your phone. So that's what I implement. And of course, for the super high-end properties, we'll have a PR company come in and strategize and build stories around the property and try to get free editorials as much as we can.
Is there, obviously there's a lot of thought that goes into it, but it's not for sure what that property is going to sell for when you list it for 20, 30, 40 million, right? I mean, there's some guesswork there.
No, when you're in that 20 to 30 million dollar mark, you're actually, know that they're going to sell for pretty close to that. It's when you're pushing in that 40 to 250 stratosphere.
Yeah.
Then it's a bit different game, but. The price per square foot has been, we're really price per square foot driven in Los Angeles. We're lucky because we have the comps to back it up. So you can say like a house down the street sold for $3,000 a foot or $2,500 a foot. Museum quality stuff is selling for about $2,500 a foot.
Share with me a story, an example of something you've moved recently.
Recently, we did a house for $48 million, and it's a New York buyer that came out and bought it. And then we have a lot of buyers from the UK that are venture capital, private equity. A lot of Chinese are buying, and then mostly it's domestic because the United Emirates dollar is pegged to the US dollar, and this the British thing. Everything's in flux. So right now it's really domestic. But I do advertise in like Camju and luxuryrealestate.com and Prestige MLS, and I put it in Mandarin. The listings I'll translate them, and also on YouTube I'll translate them. But essentially they're coming out here and they're hiring me, looking for their home of their dreams. And like the big listings, spending like $10,000 a month, pushing them so they're where their screens, your house is going to be, right?
Yeah, so really, even though in some ways, obviously, luxury real estate has been known for being cutthroat, kind of to the opposite, you have to be collaborative with the other partners out there, right?
Yeah, you really have to, exactly. You got to be collaborative with your fellow associates, and you got to maintain that relationship. Getting exclusive listings, they're great, but often they trade hands really quickly. You get a 6-month listing, and it doesn't trade, and then you pass it off to the next guy, and then boom, it could sell, which is okay. It's just the name of the game, right?
Ben, you got any final remarks about San Diego?
Well, from the air, I really got a really terrific perspective. Thank you, Seth, for showing me all the different areas. They're beautiful. Those hillside, those cliffside properties were extraordinary. I couldn't believe what I saw. And the value that you get for beachfront property is exceptional. I'm looking to maybe buy something one day. That'd be cool.
Hope you enjoyed, and cheers to your American dream. Well, as you know, the American Dream is a national program where we focus on business, the entrepreneurial spirit, overcoming adversity, finance, the market, all things that are relevant to empowering your American dream. But a big topic of conversation on this show is housing. So what we do is we integrate local, top-producing, award-winning realtors to cover a wide range of topics on that subject, different micro markets, different niche subject matter. Housing is such a big topic, so we're going to bring you a lot of information right now from some of the best in your market. Let's check out these interviews.
Welcome back to the American Dream. Well, now we have two very familiar faces on the show. I want to introduce Paige Heavey. She is the president of Paige Heavey Fine Properties with Coldwell Banker, and Kelly Zitlow, VP of Cornerstone Home Lending. Ladies, thank you so much for being on the show. Great to see you.
Great to see you as well. You bet.
So, Paige, I know that you have called on Kelly so many times in the past for so many of your clients' home loans. Why Kelly?
You know, here in Arizona, there's a lot of good lenders, but there's really not a lot of great ones. And what I mean by great is looking at the strategy. I think consumers have no idea how many options there are in terms of getting their loans. Yeah. And Kelly's really good at that. And then from there, it is communicating with people so they're not wondering what's going on. And then the best part is closing on time so that my team gets to hand over keys to excited buyers, not stressed out buyers. And that's a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing. So Kelly, is it really that difficult these days to obtain a home loan? And what advice would you give buyers moving to Arizona to really avoid any last-minute surprises they might run into?
Well, Jen, I think the important thing to know is that a home loan is very unique based on the particular person. So I think sometimes our country just kind of commoditizes home loans like it's one size fits all, and that is just not the case. Everybody has their own distinct credit history, income scenarios, goals, etc., that really a great lender will just sit down and talk and listen, right? So we want to hear what's going on. We want to hear what has happened in their life that maybe impacts the process and help strategize and make sure that we can create a smooth, well-communicated process. I think the big thing I hear, Paige, from the real estate community is just lack of communication from the lender, and then that creates stress. It creates stress for the buyer, it creates stress for the seller, it creates stress for the agents involved. So we are big on process, systems, communication, and really just taking that extra step on making sure that strategically it really is what's best for the client at that point in time.
Well, and it sounds to me like there's also a lot of personalizing involved.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a major purchase. I think on average people buy, 3 to 4 homes in their lifetime?
Right.
I mean, on average, that's kind of what it is. So these are big dollar numbers. It's not something that we should just be like, oh yeah, we'll just do this or that. Like, so let's give it some thought. Let's really chunk it down and see what's not only cost effective, but what really fits the ultimate goal.
Sure.
I think buyers have no clue that there's that many options out there, and that's what Kelly and her team does so well, is helps them understand that and pick the right one for them.
Yes, they certainly do. They are phenomenal at that. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk to you ladies about this incredible summer heat. We're feeling it all around the country. How do you deal with that heat in Scottsdale? What are some of your favorite things to do in the area? And this question is for both of you, but I will start with you, Paige.
Okay, so for me, I love to staycation. If we're staying here in town in the summer, that means jumping over to one of the hotels that have got a lot of fun. They've got water parks, they've got places, lazy rivers, you know, and if it's not that, then we will jump out of town, go up to the Grand Canyon and go hiking, or just even go over and see you guys in Southern California, because we can't, you know, not go to Disney or California Adventure.
And we're not that far away.
No.
No. How about you, Kelly?
So first and foremost, air conditioning is very important here in the summer, right? So we start actually channeling our winter months right about now, you know, so, but there are so many great things to do around town, even in the summer, even when it's hot. We have some fantastic restaurants. We get up early and hike, and we have amazing mountains and trails and things like that. So even though it's hot, we do figure out how to maneuver a daily schedule around the heat. So.
I love it. Early morning hikes and a lazy river. Ladies, thank you so much for being on the show today. Sounds like the perfect summer to me.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of the American Dream.
Hello, I'm Carol Royse with Keller Williams Realty East Valley, your valley-wide team. And today I am really excited because I am in the studio with Mr. Ron Woofley. Hello, Ron.
Hi, Carol. How you doing?
Good. Hey, Ron, I'm going to brag on you a little bit. Ron played for the St. Louis Cardinals.
St. Louis Cardinals for 3 years, and then the Arizona Cardinals, actually the Phoenix Cardinals for 4 years, and then the Cleveland Browns for 2 years after that. Then I finished up in 1995 with the St. Louis Rams. 10 years in the NFL, and Carol shouldn't have been there 10 days.
Yeah. No, Ron, you're quite talented. And a 4-time Pro Bowler, correct?
As a matter of fact, yes. A lot of people think that I was a bowler when they hear that. Like I was actually bowling, and no, that was the Pro Bowl, which is a football award that I received.
Well, that's exciting. And what are you doing today, Ron?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am the color analyst for the Arizona Cardinals today on the radio, right? Broadcasting, of course, on Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. And I also am part of the Doug and Wolf, I would be the Wolf part, the Doug and Wolf Show, Savages in the Morning, all right, on 98.7 FM.
Savages in the morning. Well, guess what, Ron? I am the savage of the real estate market. How about that? We've got
I
two
love
savages
that.
in studio today.
Well, that's great. Let's get savage,
Let's
shall
go.
we?
Hey, Ron, I just thought we would talk a little bit about professional sports, the impact on our Maricopa County local economy. And I remember when the Cardinals came here about 20 years ago and they played in Arizona State University Stadium.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we showed up in 1988. That was our first season there, and I'll never forget it. Sun Devil Stadium, what a nice venue. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the venue. It was the fact that it was built in Phoenix, Arizona, or Tempe, Arizona, as a matter of fact, right? Just the fact that it was 120 to 125 degrees on the field. That one game that we always played in September, very, very difficult to play there. And not only that, too, when we were here and it was new and it was fresh, it was so cool, there was no doubt about it, it was great. But you know what, there are a lot of people that showed up for the other team, not just for the Phoenix Cardinals, that's what we were called at the time, but there were a lot of people that were there wearing opposing colors.
That's right,
so
and
to
I
speak.
remember those days. And back in those days too, Ron, you know, our Maricopa County population wasn't that big, but we have about 80,000 people a month moving into Maricopa County, and so that's got to benefit the Cardinals, and I know it certainly benefited our real estate sales team. So are there any season tickets left for the Cardinals, or is it a sellout every year?
I mean, you can get tickets from time to time. There's a lot of ticket
You know,
brokers that are. No, as a matter of fact, don't ask me, all right? Don't, because I don't even get 2 tickets. But I will tell you this, you can get them, but every game has sold out now for the Arizona Cardinals since they opened that stadium in 2007. Stop and think about that.
That is really something. And I know for a fact, because I sell a lot of houses in the West Valley, Glendale, Peoria, Surprise, Goodyear, Buckeye, all of that.
Yeah, but you're a pro.
I'm a
I mean,
pro.
you are the best at what you do, correct?
I am the
Ding.
best. Ding. I am a pro. I am a pro. And I can just see the impact that the Cardinals have made in the West Valley, because it's just grown up from a sleepy farming community to now it's a metropolitan area.
And not only that, Carol, but University of Phoenix Stadium, right, as well. You stop and think about everything that has happened there. They're hosting a Final Four again, right? I mean, the fact that the Super Bowl will be coming back. It's just so many events that have happened out there, and the economic impact that it has is truly amazing.
So, Ron, when you were a child, and did you want to get into sports? Did your mother father push you into sports?
As a matter of fact, I was just talking to a bunch of kids yesterday, 12-year-olds, right? And I was telling them that when I was 12 years old, I decided in my heart I wanted to be an NFL football player. I wanted to play in the National Football League. And I went around and I told everybody that, Carol. I told everybody I wanted to play in the NFL, right? And they patted you on the head. Oh, that's so nice, right? And they just kind of moved you along because they knew how ridiculous it was. By the time I got to 14 and 15, I realized it wasn't cool to actually tell people you wanted to play in the NFL, right? Because it was a ridiculous dream, so to speak. So as a child, I grew up that way, and then I realized, man, you better not say that any longer, right? And it kind of kept me from embracing everything that I should have at that young age. If I had to do it over, I'd do it differently going.
You know, Ron, as a child, I played sports. I ran track, I played girls softball.
Really?
I played powder puff football. I was a running back. But let me tell you what sports did for me. It taught me leadership. It taught me how to manage a team, how to be on a team, how a work ethic. It will teach you a work ethic too, because you've got to do it for the team. You know. And I just think that that's a great thing for kids to do today, whatever sport.
You know what I love about it? The leadership thing.
The leadership.
Right? You know, leadership, everyone thinks that, give me the baton, get out of the way, let me lead you all, right? Leadership is about servitude. It's about serving those around you. And that was a great thing about growing up in a family. In my family, everybody's an athlete for the most part. My older brother Craig played 12 years in the NFL. My younger brother Dale was better than both of us put together. All-American team captain at West Virginia University, right? I mean, just an incredible, all of us learned, you know what? To lead is to serve those around you. That's what sports have taught me.
And you know, I think that's where I got some of my leadership ability, because there's 24 on the Carol Royse team and I lead them.
You don't have to blame the NFL
No,
to,
you don't
to
have to.
learn
That's right.
the benefits of sports, right, and the leadership thereof.
Yeah. Well, Ron, it's been great talking to you today. It's just been so much fun, and I've learned a little bit about you.
Well, thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. You know what? You know it's always a pleasure. I would love to do this again
All right,
as
great.
well, okay?
All right, and then back to you in the studio. Thank you.
You just heard from award-winning realtors about your marketplace. It's one thing to find your dream home. It's another thing to finance it. I've traveled the country to find the best mortgage experts in every city. You're going to hear from yours in a Mortgage Minute right now. Let's check it out.
Well, we just saw my next guest earlier in a segment with Paige Heavey. She is now on to do the Mortgage Minute, is none other than Kelly Zitlow, VP of Cornerstone Home Lending. Kelly, thank you so much for being back on the show.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
So, Kelly, I was recently asked a question about mortgage insurance. If you have mortgage insurance, is there a way to eventually get rid of it? How long are we stuck with it? How do we move on from mortgage insurance and save that money?
It's a great question, and I think it's probably one of the most misunderstood types of parts of the home loan process. And here's the answer. It depends on the type of loan that you have, first and foremost. Because if you have an FHA loan, the mortgage insurance on an FHA loan works differently than if you have a conventional loan. So that's the first thing somebody has to ask themselves. Just look at your mortgage statement, determine what kind of loan you have. If it's FHA, it is not going to drop off. FHA never uses current market value to remove mortgage insurance. So when you acquired the mortgage, if you put less than 10% down, the mortgage insurance actually stays on the loan for the life of the loan right now with FHA. If you put 10% or more down with FHA, then it will drop off in 11 years. So that's kind of FHA. Now conventional, now there's a whole bunch of option with regard to how mortgage insurance can be removed on a conventional loan. It will automatically drop off based on a normal amortization once the loan balance gets to roughly 78% of the initial market value or sales price. But then there are some other ways that one can reduce or eliminate mortgage insurance on a conventional loan. So best just to reach out to your lender and talk with them about your options.
And get some more great options, Kelly. Thank you so much, as always.
You bet.
All right, that's all for the American Dream. Thank you so much for checking us out. Remember, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage your American Dream. Don't forget, we love you to breathe oxygen into this message. Follow us on social media, and don't forget, we'll catch you next time. See you next week.